David can take you from one subject, like you could be talking about trains.
You see, I have this Aspergers syndrome. Faces are splodges, like when I take my glasses off. You see a different face, don't you?
And you can end up in ancient Rome, and you don't know how you got there, but it made sense at the time.
You know about the King of Belgium? There was a King of Belgium who always wore glasses. As short-sighted as me, and then stamps were produced without his glasses, and there were uproar because he could not recognise himself without glasses. So the stamps were replaced with the king as the official portrait with glasses.
The initial reaction might be, oh, you know, he's rambling on, he's not making much sense. But if you do actually listen, he does make a lot of sense, and he knows so much about so many things.
Eventually the king took up scuba diving and wore contact lenses. So I'm saying that Asperger's syndrome is that going through life, everything's sharp except faces.
David himself will tell you that he has Asperger's syndrome, so he knows that, he has that self-knowledge, and he'll tell you about it.
I was 62 when I found out about Asperger's. That we with Asperger's process information quite differently to so-called normal people. There is a spectrum from severe intellectual impairment to genius level. And so at the one extreme there are people who can never look after themselves, and the other there are eccentrics like Alan Turing and Einstein and Michelangelo and William Butler Yeats and Wittgenstein, people who are in a manner of speech all Greek and Latin but can't tie their shoelaces, that is, supremely competent at an esoteric subject like physics or playing a cathedral organ, but totally incompetent at everyday affairs. Now, eventually people master life skills, and I trust it's said of me that I have substantially conquered the Asperger.
David's behaviour and his clothes can seem a bit eccentric.
Now, this is a pair which I wear sometimes. These are jodhpurs. They're extraordinarily convenient. A smart pair. Now, this pair, as you see, are worn out.
And I think it's really good that the groups that I know who have included them really accept that, and I think it helps everyone to realise that because someone looks a bit different or behaves a bit different doesn't mean that they don't have a great contribution to make.
When I lost my leg, woke up with a bit missing, I had to redefine myself. And it's tied up with why I had to wear these riding breeches, because I am as normal as everybody else as long as I wear them. I'm not aware that I am an amputee when I have my own homemade breeches or jodhpurs locking me together. And this comforts me because I dream of being two-legged. At a very deep level, now I'm feeling intact with the way I'm dressed, with these things I've made myself. And it led to the principle that because I had mastered tailoring and could make these, which cost £300 each if bought from a tailor shop, I had done something really worthwhile.
David always brings things with him to fix, and he really is an inspiration in that way, in that I don't think he ever throws anything away.
A large quantity of cloth were dumped in Glasgow. I took possession of it. I've made 7 pairs so far of garments like riding breeches, and I've even made the buttons from bits of car number plate. I found out about Remade through contacts in the Seed group, so I came along with samples of my work, and I immediately felt a rapport with people there, a deep sense of each improving the other. That is, whenever two people improve one another, that is God being created in both. And I wrote a poem in 1975 where I said, can ever the model railway track which our hands are forging now link our two souls, become the catalyst for holy dialectic, in the idea that when we were making a model railway line, we were improving one another. It was far deeper than merely building model railway line. It was as though the track went from soul to soul.
He makes model railways from recycled materials, and he's fascinated by trains in general.
You know how some people have the talent to mix and match fabric and out of random pattern makes the most wonderful patchwork. He's got that talent when it comes to recycling material, and he's retrained.
Now these carriages, as you see, are built deliberately of power cards in the same way, using pieces of car number plate. As if you look closely in these carriages, there's car number plate for the windows, very handy stuff, car number plate. The things on the roof, the commonplace from carriages of the Edwardian period. Again, if you inspect the interior, you'll find isolated sticks. The ones that I got. Oh, this one will do. You see, when I made this, the struggle to solder up the bits of this precious model engine, I was mastering, conquering fear of being burnt by a soldering iron. I can dispel my fundamental, recurrent, irrational, endemic anxiety in social media where I can share my specialist knowledge of any kind.
He always brings something different every week to the session. He's absolutely fascinating to listen to, and he's full of ideas and a real inspiration in terms of reuse and repair.
The Remade group realised how interested he was in the whole idea of recycling and getting rid of waste. So that's been really good for him. And also the group took him for a dinner for his birthday, which I thought was a really lovely and supportive thing to do.
Remade is a kind of mental, emotional sheet anchor. It provides me with a dignified role, or several dignified roles. I see myself reflected in Remade people as a beautiful human being.